Hello everybody, hope you're having a good day. Today just want to share a story, scary for Pokemon community in general. So this happened in Hong Kong, and the store, which is a Pokemon gym, as in, you know how fans would go and pay and compete there, got into a basically a buyback issue. So what happened is they purchased, as you can see here, they purchased a box of cards from basically someone in on the street. They basically try to sell the stuff to this gym, and the specific stuff was actually here. You can see it's a base set box sealed. So it's one of those like hard to get, especially in this condition sealed. And the store people redirect them to their headquarter office, which is across the street of Sino Center. So they buy back in, you can see the date, January 15th. They're actually fully transparent and show the transaction as well. So you can see the payback to this place, to this seller, on January 15th. A month later, on recently, if I can show, recently on February 24th, they sell it at their store in Moko. So Moko is like Mong Kok East train station, that little plaza shopping center. They sell it there. There's a Toys R Us there, by the way, like next door. Anywho, it's one of those place I go to when I was in Hong Kong because it's convenient. It's like right upstairs of the train station, and their store is pretty nice. They have a wall of they don't just do Pokemon. They also do other stuff like sports cars, like soccers and stuff. So it's not just that. They also do bear bricks as well. That's what they usually post on the social media, by the way. So like it's like one of those like trendy stores. They happen to be a poke gym. They are very convenience located right above in the mall, above the subway, the train station. Correction. They also have a store in Sino Center, and they also have like others like locations as well. So it's a big, like, I wouldn't call it chain exactly, but it's basically they have multiple stores in multiple locations. Just Mong Kok alone has two stores, I believe, or maybe even three. I don't know. I know of two because I've been to Sino and I have been to Moko as well. It was a, like I said, first edition 996 base set, and they went to basically like go ahead and with the buyback, and 1 month later in February 24th they sold it in Moko. And because it's such a rare item, the store says like, do you want to open it at a spot, because there's a lot of fakes. So if you can open it in the stores, then it's less risky for the buyer as well. That's actually what I usually do anyway. By the way, after I buy it, I opened it because I don't I'm risk averse, and unless I buy it from Pokemon Center, but like or something, I will tend to just open it in stores, just to make sure I'm not getting juice box. So you can see they did a transaction at 5:51 p.m. and at 9:29 they got a WhatsApp saying there's problem with the packs and want to talk to the owner. And then so they refund to the person that made the purchase, like from the buyback. I don't know what's the margin, the markup potentially or something, but they basically do a buyback and they sell it within a month because it's very rare. Like, I mean, be honest, like base sets rare. Basically all the posts I just show you the pictures. This is in the Facebook, in the Instagram, everywhere. And you can imagine they have all the transaction information for whatever reasons, and they didn't talk about. Basically, they felt they're transparent to show all these. But I just want to say how scary this whole situation is, because this is a gym. The scary part is you don't know where's went wrong. Is it the buyback point is being wrong? Or is it the selling part that's wrong? Because it could be the buyback part, that buybacks, the selling person might be a bad person, and sell them a juice box or I said, like, or whatever it is. The buyback staff could be untrained and don't know what to do and just happen to buy the juice. That's what I'm going to call it. And it could be at the selling point, the customer is up to no good and buy it, they refuse to open it, right? Remember? And at least that's what they said. And then reported an issue hours later, and it's hours later because they actually fully disclose the time, right? It's 5 to 9. That's like good 4 hours. But then imagine Hong Kong is possible, like it takes hours. People buy it, potentially don't find out for years, potentially, kind of. That's possible if they keep it sealed. That's what will happen. So, yeah, so there's so many points that can result in an error in transaction in general, like, and you don't know where. They did report, they're fully transparent, and they report police and border control. Is it called border custom? Border? Because custom border usually deal with counterfeit, and police is just dealing with general theft or whatever. So they did report that. If it's a gym, a Pokemon gym that has players playing there all the time, and if they're not qualified to authenticate if anything is counterfeit or not, that is scary, because people go there, they're in that business, they're not like, they're not supposed to be like newbies, so they should be able to tell if something is fake or not. And maybe today counterfeit is just to the point that's so good that people just like too good, kind of, that people can tell anymore. And that is scary. Remember, there are a lot of stuff that are kind of not a thing until like COVID. Pokemon is not this crazy until COVID hits, and people have time to restart and rekindle with their childhood's hobby. So it become this kind of out of control a little bit, if I can say. It's just scary, right? I don't know. I just thought it was scary, that a gym can be in this issue as well, kind of. And then, like, in this position, and it also, without knowing where's the problem, I guess that's the other part, like, without fully disclosing, and probably because they're investigating, so they didn't disclose that part yet. So it's kind of a little bit scary. For people that are new to this hobby, the only recommendation will be buy from a place that like, as in that you're protected. like and not like secondhand or something, kind of, because it's scary. Like, I mean, unless you're very risk diverse. I mean, I'm like, I told you guys, right? I went to Sogo, and buy my Pokemon at higher price. I forget what that store is called, but I thought it was so good it would be, kind of like regular price, but it's not, by the way. It's like more expensive, way more expensive than I should be paying. Because I didn't do my homework, and my husband laughed at me because I went solo because I was on my medical trip in the Fury. And I went to buy cards in Sogo, and I opened it in front of them. I literally opened in front of them because I was like, okay, I'm gonna pay. I'm not like playing, but I'm just like want to be sure I'm not getting juice box. Because even if I shake it, I don't know if it's juice box or not. So I'm very risk averse, and I just open it right there because I don't care if it's sealed. If I want sealed item, I will buy it from the actual like Pokemon Center or something, or Toys R Us or anything like that. Kind of. So to me, it's like if I'm buying from anywhere that's not that what I've described above, to me is risky. And imagine even like Toys R Us, I'm not saying I'm not having beef with them. I mean, there's so many parts that can be wrong. It could be from the distributor to the transport before they go to the store, right? That's why usually when go to stores, you want to make sure the stores are actually opening the box in front of you for live testing. Even that is scary. Like they can still like pretend, right? Because usually the tape actually when they open the I don't know the carton or whatever, the tape is actually special. So like usually when I see that tape, or I told my family to look at the tape, you felt a little bit better because it's like okay, at least it doesn't. It probably nothing will happen between the distributors and on the way like in the little van. There's probably no issue there, kind of. So I'm like that risk averse. So for people that are new to the hobby, please make sure you're buying what you know you can authenticate, or you're not buying counterfeit, or just like be prepared. You're paying money for counterfeits. Basically, you're one of those. This is just an example for reasons. It's scary. They post it everywhere in their Instagram and Facebook. That's what you're seeing here everywhere. This is a very well-known Pokemon gym. I mean, even because it's very convenient, like above the train station, even like I said, the Chinese New Year redemption at a gym, I told my parents to come here and redeem it because this is very easy. Like this is like literally right across Toys R Us, so it's very easy to find for people that are not into Pokemon. Because usually when you go to those other places, that's usually in an industrial building or something. It's very hard for people not in the hobby to find it, and compared to this one, it's a very well lit, well organized store that don't just sell Pokemon, they sell all the trendy stuff, right? Like I said, they sell the Bear Breaks and like other TCG like One Piece and Soccers, everything. So they are a trendy store, and they are a Pokemon gym, and even that they kind of get hit in that sense. So that was scary. And just an example to show the fans, you need to know what you're doing. Like, don't get into it. And even my husband is doing that naive thinking in general. Like, because usually I go crazy. Even buying a low value card, I question myself. This is fake. Like a low value, like, comparatively. Because he tends to buy the higher value. I don't. And for low value cards, we will check, kind of to see if it's counterfeit, at least for me. And he's like, nobody's going to counterfeit those low value stuff. People is going to counterfeit, they're going to counterfeit something worth more because, the margin of the low value item is nothing. I was like, no, the low value item, if they're good, they're going to do both because the low value, you can have a massive quantity and everyone will think like him and they can sell more. As compared to high value, they're going to QC way more, kind of. It doesn't work that way. To me, like counterfeit is like across the board. It's not just going to be high value item. So he thought it was crazy when I tend to look at everything, and he tends to just look at high value items to check if it's counterfeit or not. So, and we've been in this hobby, like I said, this very beginning. We were doing it since we were dating, basically. So it's been a very, very, very long journey for us, and to see the hobby kind of move down to this level that bad people always, they either break into stores or they counterfeit stuff. It's just kind of like sad sometimes thinking about it. It's just paper, like it's just paper that people hold value to dearly for, because that was part of the childhood, and to see demolish the morale and just go all the way down this way, it's just sad. And to see a Pokemon gym also get hit, because they're supposed to be knowledgeable. They are like immense in this, that is their bread and butter, that's their store, is also very sad. Because that means everyone is on their own. You need to know what you're doing. You need to know how to determine if something you're buying is authentic. Unless you don't care, then go ahead and join the hype, kind of. So yeah, that's it. That's just me ranting. Hope you guys enjoy today's video. I mean, like I said, I go to this store, so I like this store. It's scary. Anyway, until next time, have a good one, guys. Bye.